I would like to acknowledge that we are Treaty 6 territory, which is the traditional and ancestral territory that creates the Dene, the Blackfoot, the Saulteaux, and the we acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis settlements and the nations of Alberta regions 2, 3, and 4, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis and Inuit, who have lived and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today to build on for us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territories we reside on. You have the agenda before you. And
It's an item out of the minutes, but are we talking about the trade show at all today, or?
thank you. Yes, we did this enough. I'll just put that 7.4 trade show. 7.5. That's what I wrote, not what I said. Okay, good.
And then update on
We do have 7.4, the annual meeting resolutions that they presented for us, and so we have this chat what's going on there too. So there's that update as well. Just from a scheduling point of view, we do have Brenda Vaughn joining us at 11 to deal with KPIs. So I want to just kind of watch our time here. And what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to get to the point of camera by 10 and then be out so that 5 o'clock. And I am hoping that this might be the last of the year, but we shall see. That's my preference. Everybody will be sustained and not angry.
I just spoke. I was not yesterday night, and I spoke up some, and then I did. So I went into the same kind of said, Rob,
Can't do it twice in a row. Okay, so anything else noted? And motion to adopt the agenda, Cam, seconder, Cora, all in favor? All right, I'm going to give Jennifer a minute for the minutes. Ready? You have your red pencil.
Oh, I did do some correction on the ones I printed for you, but yes, go ahead.
Okay. Cam, you had a couple that you have noted already.
that was
On the agenda.
the agenda.
Oh, sorry. Agenda. Oh,
Yeah.
So. Your clerk. Want to look at this?
they're looking one.
Right, go ahead. And I'm just having to jump in my Adobe and my. Go ahead, please.
So I'm looking on under 8
Yes.
of the minutes, and I have the motion that I need. No, for me, that's not correct.
Well, you're looking 8.2, it's AAPG, but.
Okay, where's that?
8.2. Sorry, I'm just
No worries.
jumping when you know where you're at.
Yeah, under number 11.
Okay.
The camera session.
Yes.
So the motion that was made with regard to was received. My understanding was that I knew that it was frivolous, vexatious, and made.
Yes, thank you. So that we have the word fictitious there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's vexatious. It's cut. I actually had a concern about, so we've already identified block 40 caliber for 5. But 8.4, just in the discussion record, we said a discussion occurred on creating formalized channel communication on the rules of the city. And then there was some side comments about the fact that these facts under review and that once amended, will work to finalize the process of the city, and I don't believe we're made for feedback to be reviewed.
Do you want her removed out of there?
So I'm actually thinking last sentences, but I think
Yeah, I thought that omitting first phrase, just commission certain.
I think it's just the first sentence is what should be in the minutes, not the last.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Chair, I would.
Thank you, Ray. Give a second. Down. All in favor? Thanks, everyone. So presentations will happen at 11, so we'll move into reports and have the chief tell us what's been going on, get the highlights in his report.
I'll skip through it really quickly. Questions on any content. Just under professional standards, couple of inquiries before. One was a question on a parking ticket. It wasn't really a public complaint that was dealt with. Also had a grievance. Letter from member, however, they notified the chair that we received the grievance, but at the end of the day, response was sent back to the member that it didn't meet criteria for agreements under Article 28 of the LPA collective agreement. And it was directed back to the association to assist with the grievance process. Completely with the scope of filing agreements. That's what I was dealt with. Our human resources, yes, common agreement with the city, Sergeant Christian, that was completed. Common agreement was signed, and Christian is over at the city now, and taking up Jen's desk space. But so far, that's going really well.
Right, with Jennifer.
Really? She's got your desk space? So where do you go? Council chambers?
No. I'm actually working at Fire Hall. Yeah. That's my choice. This is good.
On our fleet replacements, waiting quite some time for replacement for traffic vehicle. That vehicle is currently in Calgary, and should be next week, so he's transitioning that vehicle. And then an update on the Glock sidearm conversion to 9mm. It's our accessories have been ordered, so I'll be looking at another 4 to 6 weeks for delivery on those. And then we'll roll up the training with our crew members at Edmonton. And by fall, we'll have all the membership transition. Firearms. Just an update on the APIS e-ticketing program. We've heard about this for the last year or so. The provincial mandatory e-ticketing team, administrative ticketing, was supposed to roll out in February. We delayed it until May, and now we have suspended it indefinitely. So we're pivoting, and we're trying to reactivate e-ticketing through the justice system. It was previously there. That was all put on hold, so we're trying to get that reactivated either through our CFP systems or the province. One e-ticketing process. So we're trying to get that up and running. It's probably going to take a couple of months to get that off the the ground again, but they're back. And just a couple of awareness pieces. On June 17th, the Justice Solicitor General is hosting their provincial crime prevention awards. This happens annually and it's usually held in Government House in Edmonton. However, this year they would like to host it here in Lacombe with the service at the host agency. So we have been working with them. Looks like we'll probably go ahead as planned on the 17th. Start to find a venue, but I think we can just get the LFC.
17th, what did you say?
June.
June, okay.
So once that's finalized, there's a team with JSG that is coordinating this. We, of course, ask that they put on commission on the invitation list as well as council, Minister or dignitaries. Continue to finalize the plans. I do have an ask of Mr. Soderberg. We'll use a piper for that event. If you have any names or contacts, maybe even a drummer.
Oh, I don't know anyone who's drummer.
Well,
So we can talk later about that, but
if you're throwing a drummer, you should probably have more than one pipe.
well, we can discuss it because that's doable as well. Yeah,
About a whole band.
I'm hoping we can get you to volunteer to help us coordinate. Yeah, I can do that.
Is that an evening event?
No, it will be during the day. It's Friday, but typically there is a chance the hours could change. Typically runs from 1 till 3. There is a chance it could run from 11. So
And maybe in Oregon, would you call that?
just Solicitor General Crime Prevention Awards. So by our May meeting, we should have everything finalized. And the other just for information was our community peace officer monitoring through the city. Sure how this actually flows down, but the city has put in a nomination for the municipal affairs board for partnerships, and they're using our community peace officer monitoring program. So we are a partner in that award. And I don't know what the contacts are on that.
On awards, have you ever had any follow-up with the order of award?
They're still waiting. They've actually followed again. There was communication a little while ago that Governor General is still sorting things out with the COVID restrictions. Not completely open. They're still waiting for that to open.
So just as history, was, I don't feel like it was 2 years ago, that they nominated Susan Hagan for an Order of Merit award to Governor General's office. That accolade, but because of COVID, we never really had it falling by the Governor General. Big deal. You received the award from me. I know that's pretty darn close to receiving it from the Governor General. Pretty close.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'd be my likely Governor General better too, so I mean, that's,
So the plan that's written.
yeah, the Lacombe.
Yeah, actually, there's a parts of the province that are all waiting to to find out when those presented. But Chief Dufelt Calgary will be a recipient as well. And he's on the vice president chair, our position on the association. So, yes, it's very.
Is there? And it's in.
That's what we need, and then there should be.
Yeah, it's a, Governor General. When it is. That's all.
In under professional standards, we did note that, who completely dismissed our last. Due to issue of letter of policy. So we were having a hard time finding her. And she did find the seat.
Yeah, I thought it was quite positive.
Very positive. Any questions? Next on our report agenda, then we've got school resource officer reports. So like the resource officer there. Busy woman. And I know for a fact she does quite a bit with the Bird Tree Foundation and coming across in her role to community resources. Really good use of her.
And she's got a number of things coordinated for the trade show weekend as well.
I find it quite interesting, this is some of her highlights. This is something perhaps Sonia and Blaine even so aware of. It's good information to remind us why this is. Any questions or other thoughts? Budget report. I know I still really don't. And I don't know what anyone else is thinking, but there was at least one where we could see, okay, this represents a quarter. Yes.
Yeah, so this one is actually for the 2021 that finance did up for me. The system's locked down. I couldn't access this one. So
It'd just be nice at a glance to see, okay, we're at 25%.
Yeah, year to date. So a
Yeah.
year to date column, percentage of year to
Yeah,
date, yeah,
exactly.
that's what our budget shows us. Yeah, that's all, that's the only line I look at when it was the school budget for the division.
Well, I look at variance, and this variance column does not work when it's printed like this. And
No,
so you
it's-
go,
When you look at the variance and say, okay, that's fine, but we're at 25%, that makes sense.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So which one page was made sense? Oh, page number 2 under, I don't know, they're all kind of budget year 2. Oh, that's 2025. So that doesn't help me. But that shows variance as,
Yeah,
That
right.
makes sense.
yes.
Yeah.
And so this is not a helpful document for us,
no,
unfortunately.
and that's been our experience. This one, maybe we can get finance to. Yes, just, and this is a 2021, but moving forward, just anything more detailed than this for. Month.
Well, let's just ask, so just visually, you don't have to share it around, but just visually look at it. So this one is a tighter summary, so we don't get the detail necessarily. So what would you like to see? Even if we had a tight summary plus the detail, if we wanted to, yeah,
You get bogged down in that stuff. It's just,
I think maybe once a quarter, we'll get detailed on just where we're tracking, but take the paper.
And I'm fine with that when finance is doing their quarterly report. Then that's probably the time to do it.
But it still create one line for categories so that the variance truly works. So even detailed every quarter is only helpful if the document is correct. And
Readable.
Yeah,
Right.
because we have to do our own math on every line.
well, but then what's the purpose?
Exactly.
And on a monthly basis, the expenses in are up to date. So it's
And
really-
that's operational too. So we don't really need to see that piece all the time. But this is frustrating.
And it's
That's
even
why
more,
we left it open. So,
it's even more frustrating if you attempt to get that out.
Yeah, I was going around going, why do we have so many pages am I on? Okay, so from the 2022, just the first quarter, just for anyone who managed to sort through it. I didn't, when I did it, there's nothing that really caught my eye, but that might be because. So, any questions on the 2022 year to date? Any comments from your point of view? Then I think we should take a look at the because just from our budget point of view, we know that there's been a lot of creativity with either chief just managing all the different things that are being tried. So we can definitely see, we've always been budgeting, training, conferences, 2020. So we have definite variances for that. But
Can I just ask what the difference is between the first 5 pages and the second?
you sure could ask.
Is
I
it
couldn't
just
tell
the
you.
date?
No, budget 21 versus budget.
No. Is it both budget 22?
I think there was just a. No, but then the variance.
But that's all the way.
What was April 4th?
13. So is it just the date different?
I don't know, I could. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 5. Then there's 1, 2, 5. 22, so I think it's.
The date is just different. By name.
And then, so then, third page number 1 starts with. So this gives everyone a chance to catch up and see if there's anything you want to question the chief on. For me, one of the things I know that on the revenue side, it looks like we're not in bad shape. It doesn't keep the transfer. But I think we were sure. Revenue side. And I guess this is relevant to us when you're looking at budget for next year.
And actually, transfer from reserves, 2021, $7,000.
Yeah.
We did the upgrade to the dispatch system.
Yeah,
and
no,
We took the funds from the reserve for that, so they were,
so it's totally an in and out, but when we look at the variance, it's the
Yes.
variance.
Yeah.
But a big drop in revenues under security clearances. Do you anticipate in 2022 that that will jump? Is that partly because of just the pandemic? I don't know. I'm just
No, security clearances is actually good because that's under good service. Permit fines.
Yeah,
And
that's
licenses, which is our fine revenue.
190,000.
So we did lower the budget this year. We were hoping that out of the pandemic or traffic would be back that way. See whether we hit our target.
Yeah, so for 2022, we lowered it from 365 to 3. And just kind of reading body language, we have more time for this.
And I just wanted to add on the 2021 final audited budget numbers for 2021 are going to council on. Yeah. So unofficially, here, I guess finalized official on Monday, but unofficially, like we have a surplus of 186,000. For 2021, at that time, CO would issue a letter back to the commission as to the transfer of the surplus back to our operation reserves. So that would be
So how do we explain that to council, just because, are they gonna look at that and say, so you guys overasked? I know, but that's what it's gonna look like visually, so I think that we need to be able to ask our representative to represent.
I guess just speaking for the service commission on this item, the city is going to have surplus on the city side that will be council's decision as to how those are corrected, but because of the policy on surpluses for the commission, these surpluses for the commission back to the.
But that's not my question. I think my question is, when we have surpluses like that, it makes us look like we know the budget.
Well, and quite frankly, you know what our human resources issues were last year. So a lot of majority of our surplus is from wages from WCB or Industrial Alliance wage savings because of our staffing. So we budgeted appropriately for our staffing levels. However, because of those shortages, we're saving wage.
Yeah,
Just that matter.
and that's
And
it.
that's where it
That's a
comes.
very fair answer, but I guess if I had to go to council and I'm looking at department actual versus budget, where do I see that surplus on here?
It's on line number.
Where am I seeing?
Sorry, that's not the number you're going to see on there. The numbers that shifting. So the official audited numbers you will see on Monday in council. The numbers you have in your report are not. Those have been bouncing around as they've been auditing.
But when we look at this detail sheet, slide 21, personnel is where you see the physical.
Sure, but where is
The unofficial
overall
number that I got.
revenue versus expenses line? You know what I mean? Like that should be where, is the variance between revenue and expenses, where am I seeing that? I'm not.
You're not.
And
Because
that
it's not-
concerns me. We should have a document here that.
And the
that I
reason you
can-
don't
yeah.
have it is because the audited numbers have not gone to council. So I can't
Sure.
give you those numbers from finance until they've gone to council. That's why I say unofficially. I have a number, but
Is it fair though that when we are looking at 2021 on this particular sheet,
that document's dated, so it's,
so line number, after line number 19, we see our revenue.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the expenses, we see a total of expenses. So then we see a net total of 122, which is unofficial.
Where are you at?
Okay, so
Page 4.
But is that the net total of expenses or is that overall? Because that was what I was looking at and I'm thinking we are over budget according to that line. So how do we suddenly have a surplus and how, you know,
That's interpretation of the document, and that's why a number from, so this one's showing on page 4 of the document, the net total is, on this one is showing $22,000 under budget. That would be the surplus. But,
It's over budget, 122.
so, I don't want to get into the weeds on this because we had intended on finance coming in and explaining the numbers, because they're really the ones to explain how they look on here. Officially, when they go to council, finance is going to explain all of those lines and the final numbers, because they've been working through this. This document that you have is one that was printed on February or April 15th, just off the system, while they're going through their audit process and finalizing. So this is the best document I can give you, but it is not the official or final audit.
So I guess the same way that I said that transfers of revenue skewed our income is also $7,000 expense.
right.
These are expenses. But this is kind of what we're dealing with for it though, is that it doesn't feel like the numbers that we're getting are ever particularly useful.
Reconcile the books for the
But-
city.
But in fairness, we just gotta look at page 4 and that does not
If
help.
you look at budgeted to actual, it should be over budgeted.
122.
That shows me 122 in a whole.
That's what I read.
Yes, and so then that, I'm going to council and say, well, we're in the negative.
Oh, sorry, yes, so the document you get on Monday, it's not.
Is that concerned?
No,
Yeah.
so, and that's why,
And that's, and not only me, but
I can't officially report to this group. I'm giving you unofficial numbers as to what the surplus should look like. All the other lines, I'm not, in a position to speak to, and finance didn't come today because they can't speak to it until it goes through council.
so tell me
So
this,
they are coming back in May to go through this.
but what did you actually say our surplus is going to be potentially?
Unofficially.
Unofficially?
About 186,000.
So according to this document and that, we're looking at over 300,000 difference. That doesn't make sense to me that I have to go into council and, right? Because this one's saying it's 122 deficit. And city is saying that we got 186 surplus. That is a 300,000-ish. Am I doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
And that's
so-
why, finance was supposed to come today.
Yep.
But we held them off till May until we can get their official number, and then they'll.
But I think what we're identifying as a
Right.
major problem is that one of the
That's
key roles of the commission is supposed to be that we're supposed to be monitoring the application of the budget. And we can't. And this isn't the chief's problem either.
No.
But it's not working. We have no idea on a current basis whether we're in trouble. We don't even know 4 months after year end if we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We don't know. And so I don't know what the solution is to that. I just don't get it, and it's really frustrating.
Lauren, can you, the document you say you're looking at, did you just print that off this morning?
No, this one I got from finance, but it's the unofficial number, so we decided not to release this one. They weren't coming today. And the auditors weren't.
But in fairness, how, this is pretty unofficial too, so.
It's all, those
But
are
also-
all unofficial.
But also, why is that going to council before it's going to us? From finance.
Good question. Like, why would you present anything? But, you know,
And that's, yeah,
And I'm not expecting to answer, like,
No,
this
that's
isn't a
the-
challenge
that's the
anymore, but this
chicken
is
or
a
the egg
challenge of this
Conversation
process.
that we have.
And so then all of a sudden council knows before we do, and this has happened for several years, in a
Then they
row,
come back
that
and
we're in
slap
shit.
If you as a manager having issues because your budget's not up to you.
Or how do
And
we
I guess
resolve
maybe
that?
I'm kind of looking at Diane saying, what can we do?
Yeah, and I'm gonna take this back to Tracy and to the CA and have a discussion.
Yeah. Thank you.
The other,
And I will as well, because I'm that conduit there. And when I'm gonna say, this is what I saw on Thursday. And now I'm hearing this on Monday, and I can't do my job well if this just very simply doesn't make sense. I'm just seeing a deficit and I'm hearing a surplus. I don't even want to talk numbers right now. How am I supposed to tie those two things together?
And communicate on our behalf to council. And so that's what we're saying, is that as we understand it, we think a lot of surplus is coming from wages. But
I don't know, for sure.
Shame.
or maybe an opportunity.
It was a time a few years ago, we were in big trouble because we weren't managing our budget. Oh, this is what we get. So this is
Yeah.
what
Well,
we,
and
that's the
I think
result
what
you
the
get.
chief is also pointing out is that when we reached out to the city to say, we need to get a better memorandum of understanding of how we're communicating between what, and then dealing with the updated bylaw of 78, that this would probably be one of our keys. And it's not like we are upset with finance.
Reports are.
Well, they're not timely and trying to reconcile, or they're trying to reconcile the post finance. We're trying to maintain our, we kind of have some
But this
general
is-
knowledge as to whether we're sitting good or not, but they're always, and I've actually got a meeting with finance in June. Next budget cycle is, there seems to be some hidden items in the background that are transfers at the end of the year that don't show up anywhere in the budget. So how do we manage that? And just cross our fingers, hope that whatever background transfers are happening adversely affect us.
Well, then there should be quarterly transfers in order that we always see them coming rather than a 12-month transfer that you go, wow, that's totally skewed everything.
Because we're making big financial decisions.
Exactly. And I'll be really honest, when I was reading this last night, I was like, oh, crap, we're in a deficit. You know, and excuse my language, but then I'm going, okay, now I gotta deal with that. And then I hear surplus today.
Well, and
My
the
head is
other
going,
misleading thing on that document is the amortization numbers throw it in to make it look like a deficit. But I honestly don't know how those figures work.
Yeah, there's a $300,000 amortization. Actually, let's take that $300,000 and the 120, and all of a sudden we get 180.
So without those, it goes completely the other way. The interpretation,
you're right.
that's why finance is better able to speak.
Sorry, I might have led you on that. Oh, no, yeah, total 32 amortization, 309. Okay, we've probably beaten that one for as far as we can go, but important and just officially, Councilor Woodster, we appreciate your attention to this. Okay, so next on our report, thanks, Director. Back.
Just like Lauren said, it was the one phone call, it was more of an inquiry, told them how to dispute the ticket, and Frank said we disputed it, just wanted to talk to a policeman. So I sent it over to Brian, and Brian
Yeah.
made the phone call.
Where was it? Parking ticket?
He can say what it is.
Third.
It's about community safety.
That's
being
true.
heard. So that's
Communication.
a successful point, so that if you at least receive a complaint and start. What are you thinking?
I just think, was it, I'm member that issued the ticket or was it bylaw? Okay.
All right, my report is pretty slow. Yeah, chief, I guess I didn't find in the
Did lots of meetings
evaluation
with us.
with that.
You had a few meetings with us as well. You're busy.
My report is in the meeting packet that I'll read. I had to do some real brain stretching to see if I report on March or not, but yeah. It was a wrap up to a very busy March month, and like I said earlier, before the meeting started, I feel like I missed a meeting at the end of the meeting. I was like, so, yeah. Pretty good to get back to someone else.
I have nothing to add.
Jennifer said she's gonna bookmark my piece so that I. Those probably good budget.
There's a lot of things.
Oh, I just noted, of course, that approval of rate adjustment. Agenda later. Noise from commercial snow clearing. Sorry, that's an off topic, but.
Well, there's commercial property right in the residential area right downtown. And so they use,
Yeah,
they use, air, like leaf blower type things at 4 in the morning, or 6 in the morning, or whatever it is, but yeah, it's an ongoing.
Okay.
I shouldn't say 4 in the morning. It is, well, actually, I think it is 6:30, but it's too early. It's too early for the residents.
Any further questions on the report, Tim? I would accept a motion. John, we'll put John on the agenda, seconder. Lee, all in favor? Good, Tim. All right, old business, 7.1. Probably in hindsight, we did a bit of a paper waste by attaching the audit spreadsheet again, but from last meeting, what the discussion was is that we would talk to Jennifer about asking her to take on just the compliance record for us. And Jennifer said that she was going to go. And then with Michelle Christian moving to her standards of compliance for the city, we're hoping that that'll turn into a partnership of getting that done. So that's where we're at with that. And one of the things I'd like to propose is that we can amend the work plan, which is the last page of the agenda, just to keep this in our purview, or keep it in our, make it keep going. So we have in the annual work plan in January. It says the annual review of audit compliance. So what I would like to do is change it from responsibility of LTC to LTC/EA. And then I would suggest, Jennifer, if you think this is good, that we've got June is the letter to the Solicitor General already there.
Oh, yeah.
Compliance,
Yeah, I understand.
but it should be LTC.
You want LPC? Change subject.
Yeah, because it's our commission standard, it's not service. Okay. And that makes sense, isn't that? Any,
Did you want to meet the annual review in January? then, and
well,
then
just
the
to
letters?
commence it,
Okay.
so it could say commence. You probably condense a few words in there, but
And where is it?
so in January, just commence.
Is it something that you want on board?
It's a yearly thing.
So you're not.
No.
Okay.
Better. So just start it in January, pilot, and by June, go on to the letter to the Solicitor General. You were in compliance, thanks for asking. Not quite like that. It was mostly that they don't ask, and it's mostly so. Okay, any further thoughts on that? Thanks for that, Jennifer, I really appreciate being able to delegate that. 7.2, evaluation committee. Just a quick update.
Update is the evaluation has been completed. We have met with the chief to give him feedback. Thank you to Cam and Lane and John, who met with many members. We'll go through the details of the report in camera, but we met with, I think, over 17 members with 28 responses to the survey, and responses included many city councils, many members of the commission, administration from city, and then of course members and support staff here. So evaluation is done. We met with the chief, and it took us a long time, but it was a very, very worthwhile process. I think we've got some really great feedback for the chief to move forward with. So, that report.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Big thank you to.
Next on the item was 7.3. So I've just attached for your information the letter that we sent to CAO Valley as Corporate Services Director, Manager, Director. Could not manage to figure out how to put that pay on. I did receive a response from CAO Valley. What's that?
I'm a French immersion school, so
You know
I know.
144.
Yeah, I should fill it 144.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
there you go.
Insert.
Insert object.
I decided it wasn't that important.
No, that's all right.
I did receive a response from CAO Valley just asking us how we'd like to commence the process, and then knowing that we've got the bylaw review, I expect so we don't have any official plans, but through any comments on that?
No. They could, open communication and,
7.4, in our agenda packet, the AAP, they did send us the resolutions that they're going to present at the AGM next weekend. I didn't study them, I don't know if anyone else read them, but what it means for us is we do need to appoint a delegate to vote at the AGM. Ken said something we can't do. Don't spot. Just line nine. We're getting the house. I don't think. Yeah. Any thoughts on who would like to volunteer our voting ballot?
Kind of like who's the most morning,
That's exactly what that is.
who's the most experienced person?
Not me. I think you're on me.
Oh.
I'm still putting someone under the bus. Right.
7:30. That's why I said who's the most morning person.
No. Sorry. Truthfully. But
Elaine, would you be willing to do it? Are you staying at your daughter's?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how far to get there.
The ways, that's all right. Oh, yeah, morning person.
But there you go.
Right, so there we go. My eyes will be open at 6.
Then I think he's the most alert person.
I will join you, but I will not. I could give you a card. It's probably a card, right? You have to put it out.
It's not.
It's
It's
like
not.
that, isn't it? No, no, it's just hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we've all gone.
But then how do they know who's voting and who's?
They
You could be sitting there and you could.
honestly just wait to get there.
Yeah, it's very efficient.
And no, it's not a show, but
No,
it's
it's just informal.
it's very informal and there's not that many
Trust.
associations.
No, that's right.
It's not like it's hundreds of delegates.
I've never
No,
been.
No, there's maybe,
No, I've never been. I remember
Really do
maybe
it
40 in the
I've
room for
never
that
been
meeting.
here.
yeah,
40?
Done it all.
yeah.
Really?
No, it's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's only 40 people. in the
What?
room or so.
5 tables? Okay.
For that meeting, for that meeting.
So I
For
really
the
do have
conference,
to
yeah,
stay,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
really do have to be there then.
Yes,
Because
you
I
do.
missed it.
Okay.
Troops.
Yeah.
On that note, so they're just putting a resolution for a grant, get asking the pharmacy of adequate resourcing for the research program. And they're asking.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right.
Specialized
resources and
in
then
the
specialized, yeah, prosecution.
Oh, okay, so again. Any thoughts or comments on whether we should be supporting this resolution? Chief says yes.
Yeah, whole item, the ACERT itself, they're overtasked under the Police Act. Any incident involving serious injury or death has to be reported up to the Assistant Deputy Minister and who can direct ACERT to investigate, and they are very busy at the moment. Resources have been needed for quite some time, and even moving forward. Just as far as transparency goes, they would like to actually remove a lot of public complaints investigations, even at lower end to a separate entity, and that would probably be sort of at the end of the day. So definitely they would need resources for that to ever happen. And then with prosecutions on a certain file, some of them are taking 3 or 4 years just to get to the point where members under investigation know whether they're going to be charged or not. So they're, and most of the delay is with the review by legal counsel.
Imagine having it over your head for 3 or 4 years is not so. Well, maybe you can. But
Yeah.
that would be horrifying.
I think that it's encapsulated in the background, that bottom paragraph, beginning of February 20. After this peaceful, I think.
So I think then we'll just confirm for the meeting minutes that Commissioner Larson has. Or even for the application. New business and 7.5, old business 7.5 trade show. Tanya, I know you sent out the Google Doc and.
Yep.
Spot still.
You bet. No, you've got it, Cam.
But
I think you're on there. Well, no, because you go for the city.
maybe we
You're
did
the city.
But I thought that we can do both.
If you want.
If-
You just walk.
Normally, yeah, like our
Whenever
names are
you
beside
want.
each other. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably you're right, Cora, we weren't asked. Because
We're looking over it.
Yeah.
Because then this stuff is more going to go.
Yes, or you can choose. You could do a wardrobe change all day.
We're a city
Every
with
hour.
a shirt and a commission jacket.
But just to note that if Councilor Lucio is missed on the agenda. At your email.
So Friday, we have 2 hour slots, starting at 2, 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Ken, we've got you down for the 2 to 4 slot. I'm in the 4 to 6 slot, and I'm on Jonathan's 8 slot. I have a feeling this is the busy slot. We have 2 members there. I may join the big slot just so you're not. Yeah. And then partially do a little bit of selfishness too on my part. What y'all get to. Saturday, the trade show starts at 10 a.m. So 10 to 12 is the first slot, and we have Elaine and Corey in that time slot. 12 to 2, Ken and myself as well, and then 2 to 4 is John there.
And then Elaine.
I switched back for Corey and asked if I could move from the 10 to 12 to the 2 to 4.
And I'm comfortable doing
That's good. We'll be busy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for thinking that.
And then I had something come up for Saturday. I don't know if I will be able to make the 12 slot. We do have anything there.
and I can extend.
I'm only a block away, I'll wander back and forth.
Yeah, I might.
So the other thing too, with the trade show, I think the trade show multiple years, but where we at for efficiency, so we just. Is there?
It's 2 months or something.
Oh,
Oh, I don't even know. I don't remember. There's no efficient. Last few years, trade show.
So you're saying bring cash?
Bring cash for tickets, pie,
Yeah, you have to get
Goodies.
pie, you have to.
epicure,
I-
lots of fun things. There's lots of really good things you can take a look at. 4-H, beef,
I thought the
Tickets.
best still could be raised there.
there's lots of fun things to look at.
And so just in terms of what we're doing when we're at the trade show, we are set up beside the city station. And so then it is a little bit of hanging around and I think that we'll have a little bit of tidbit for the pass out to the shake conversation. But we'll be by there.
Yeah, the school resource vehicle will be there, constables. Days. I'll be there Friday. I think, Michelle Christian is going to kind of bounce between these there
Excellent.
and represents well, so, yeah, and we've got.
It's in cars.
And if something comes up, please,
Can I
it's
bring
not,
my kid inside of this or?
yeah. It's not, especially. If something comes up, it's not like it's terrible and we don't have stuff in the office, so don't feel obliged. It's just kind of a mess.
It's very nice.
I'm supposed to say it's my first.
It's good. It's a good event. And it'll be busy, I think. It'll be back. I've been around for the years, like it's gonna be busy.
Yeah. And don't feel uncomfortable in asking if you prefer. As well.
You should not lose those. Service level.
All right,
Michelle takes some extra mass and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what-
all right, good enough. New business, annual report. Annual report is in. And mine with my notes is I share. But there was a lot, other than my own letter. So asking for the document back so I can rewrite. Do you want? On my letter, I just wanted to update my special thanks, just to read it. I was in a bit of a rush.
Bring that highly technical.
Okay, cool, there's no.
We could.
Moving on.
If it's any electronic,
You'll
it's
notice on mine there's
anything like mine.
It depends on which computer version of the code you use.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, and I've got Cora's name spelled correctly.
Look at even, I can honestly say that I did not have it. Right.
Well, and fair enough, it's.
My comments are visual. I just would love it if in future years we could get rid of all the black.
So as far as the formatting goes, we're actually, once we're done with our KPIs and human resource plans, we're probably going to revamp this, and we're actually probably going to use city marketing folks to maybe
And I'm
jazz it up a
guessing
little
you
bit
will
more.
work with the black.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that we can make it look a little bit more updated. So overall on the report, for the highlights. Just with COVID restrictions lifting, noticed increase in calls for service over the previous year, but 2020 was significantly down because but over the 5-year average, calls down 9%. We had decreases in price against persons where we thought there may be some increases in some of those areas.
Fewer bar fights?
Well,
Sorry.
It's difficult to fight when you are standing 2 meters apart.
we thought with the domestic violence calls and whatnot that sometimes those get scores if there's a result of person if offense has been committed. So yeah, tourist price in that area. A little bit of an increase in crimes against property, you're breaking enters, thefts, those types of offenses. The 79% decrease in drug offenses since legalization of cannabis, we've been seeing the numbers come down drastically, and most of those drug offenses are now potential offenses when it comes to cannabis, so they wouldn't be recognized in traditional drug offense category that is captured here.
This is one of those stats where successfully policing and prevent makes it look like under a chart.
Yeah, and it's really legislative change.
Right,
We'll take credit.
we'll take it. Looks good.
And then 24% decrease in other criminal code offenses with impaired driving being down 9%. Here again with the impaired driving down 9%. We've shifted to administrative sanctions for impaired driving under provincial administrative processes. So we've actually shifted those numbers from a criminal code offense to more of a provincial type offense.
So the numbers truly are down there, you're saying-ish. They're just moved.
They're slightly down because of COVID and the whole traffic volume has decreased, but this number for the next year will probably see decrease just because of the administrative sanctions. So when we move to our new format next year, we're also going to shift our focus to some of these other areas instead of reporting specifically on impaired driving. Probably categorize it in all categories of administrative sanctions.
This gives us better. Provincial active offenses saw a 61% increase in this for those administrative sanctions. Cannabis offenses, all of those. Mental health offenses. Been reporting for a while that there was an increase. The number of charges paid, 30% increase from 2020. However, in 2020, it was significant downward trend on charges. That's the organization of charges there is approved by the commission months ago, and just outlining some hires. Constable Cofan, Constable Hartley, Constable us. Our authorized strength of 22 police members plus 1 alert member position remain the same as to full-time, part-time support staff, captain staff. good. If
You're
there's
good.
any questions or anything?
One edit, I would say, on the annual report 2021, we've got the picture of Mayor Casey. And then it's got Emily Elmore in there. Got Elmore.
Good catch.
Where was that?
On responding to community priorities. Number.
There's a picture with Justice Case Committee. Oh, look at you.
But that picture is kind of worked. Can we fix the picture?
Yeah, I just think it's not that sophisticated right now, Elaine.
As far as being stretched or?
Well,
Yeah, it's been
Make everybody
stretched.
look wider. than
Yeah,
actually-
Lauren, you look
got
like you
stretched a little bit.
added about 60 pounds.
No, it's not complimentary to Grant or any. Us in the back are fine.
Maybe you'll be motivated to, but it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's being
poor Grant. He's been working on it too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at Ezra. Now that I look at
One area that I did want to point out is our officer years of service demographic. We didn't do any other demographics other than the years of service. But when you look at this, our demographics are good as far as our makeup of the service.
Yeah.
But we still have some gaps on this competency. So the overall, I was actually surprised to see.
Yeah, that was
Discrepancy. Other than that,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you short, Lauren.
no, that's good.
We can
Everybody's-
give it a good read ourselves, but.
Yep.
48 years of policing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
What do you start with?
19.
Sure.
19.
Okay, on the agenda, thank you for pulling that all together. So Megan, that is excellent. So
Yes.
officially, we do need to present this to council. The chief reminded me that part of ours is we need to present twice to council in a year. So we do it with this annual report and do it with the budget presentation so that it's formal present that. We're not currently scheduled, but we suspect it's Tuesday meeting, assuming there's not a Monday meeting or a weekend. And we just missed getting there this Monday and the following Monday, Tuesday. And
24.
yes, that's what we suspect. So that will be after our next meeting, so if there's anyone who wants to attend.
That was part of them.
No, we don't.
Sorry,
Yeah, we don't even know. what the
5:36.
was. So next thing on new business is we did receive a letter from the office of the mayor, just formally saying, yes, we would like to review bylaws update. And so I did ask Jennifer, and she did give everyone a copy of bylaw 78. I don't think we'll put it in our discussion points at this stage, but one of the things that we'll need to get back, like he's saying, oh, we'll have presentations. They might ask for a presentation. To me, the biggest thing that we have to watch for with bylaw 78 is most of it is prescribed. It's prescribed with the police act. So, but I wanted to bring it up for your approval, just to give some thought to whether there's some things in our experience that you would like to see. And one of the things to consider is, are 6 public members enough? Most times it is. Sometimes it hasn't been when we've had members who have been. But that would be one consideration. But just keeping that in mind as you review the copy of the bylaw that you have,
Chair, we just need to table this to.
Yes.
So we need to know.
Sure, thank you.
It's- For councils.
You know, whether it's tabled.
Or whether it's
Or
on the agenda.
Is there any scheduled meetings on?
I haven't been told yet, so.
It hasn't been set for a specific date as of yet. There's going to happen to be a discussion with council. And then discussion with the.
So if you need, should I be responding to them on behalf of the Christian State? We look forward to working with you. Let us know when you're setting up committees and we'll send a representative.
That actually.
Okay. And I might actually do a little bit of work and just do a list of remember that these are the things that are prescribed. Okay. I have a new report. Oh, sorry, so moving on to information. Collective agreement, Commissioner, or Councilor Hoekstra noted it in her report. And just for information. Just that.
Yeah, just, anyway, this does have an impact. But, LPA Collective City, they have a clause that if CPI goes over, that they can be entered in discussions from agencies. If reset for that year is fine. That's what happened. Back to the city and they agreed on a 2% wage increase. Albeit at 1% splits. So at the end of it, council with 2.2 increase, which is like all other city staff, retroactive to January 1st. So we won't see the additional increase in July as the collective agreement. January 1st, and then agreement. Budget wise, that will have, by my calculations, up to about $20,000 impact on the budget. The administration probably going to be closer to $12,000 at this time, because of some of our these shouldn't have an impact on the council. Adjustment on our budget and from the CAO, this item, if at the end of the year we are by $12,000, wages council.
I guess that's where this little pie graph, where 78% of our costs are wages. And when we hit budget process, we're given a guideline of 1%. Pretty impossible to have 1% increase in budget. And we're talking about.
And they just.
Exactly. So it'd just be one of those little tidbits to stick in the back of your challenge will always be.
Right, sure. This contract management committee report, does that really apply to, it doesn't?
You know,
Okay.
and that's where, and I was referencing it and I realized I was out of order.
Okay. So
But that report that's in there, we might as well go to it next. I think the chief just wanted that for our information, that this is going on with these who have our CP contracts, that we are get with very major retroactive adjustments to the costing. Which the chief shared that when we're talking to council about the cost of police services, one thing that council does have is, I think they do is control about how much money we're spending compared to what's going on. Is that an adequate summary we're going to have?
Yeah, and it's really a awareness piece, because through the APG, maybe talking to other boards, and this may be a significant discussion at the APG meetings coming up, because obviously it's a substantial impact to a lot of communities. But because we have our own police service and you're a commission, not a board, this does because of the new association, the RCMP increases, that these wage increases go back retroactive 5 years. So
2007.
most municipalities under contract are looking at millions or multiple millions of dollars in sometimes unanticipated, should have been known, but costs that they can
We have a new report.
And while we have this report removed, however, because we haven't had a traffic member for quite some time, and that member just returned, they're just for under 6. That member was back, but traffic operations up and running again. For how long, I don't know. Just injury. So resourcing here, juggling all the time.
Is this his own stats or that's the whole force?
On his report, that's his stats. The one at the start of my report is for the entire service with
That started March 21st.
yes.
So that look in your eye.
No, I just remember an old boss telling me how many contacts he had to have.
For information in your package, just the APG newsletter. Which moves us just to review our annual work plan for standing items. So just on a quick review. Going back to March, Vice Chair is on top of training, and you also have a presentation with Microsoft. It's been a busy month. It's been busy months, so training will have lots of time. We completed the chief's evaluation in March. He did the self-assessment. We've done the assessment. And your report done. We're good. So for April, scheduled chief evaluation, scheduled for community survey next cycle. Years that, which then brings us into May, which is chief's contract with the top of the year. And I guess it's pretty good spot. Sure, look, I say this every time that I love this spot because it helps remind us not only of what's to come, but okay, we're on track. We don't have to worry. So before we move in camera, I'll just confirm that the next meeting that we have scheduled is May 19th. Again, here at this location. Thoughts on location? No, just we always do this every time where we've been meeting here. It's not as conducive as if we met in council chamber. And I think it's a pretty even. If I like being here and talking. Just a.
Good, that's cool.
Let's do this. Depending on how everyone's doing, so 20 minutes past where I got to you would be, which is fine. I need a motion to go into camera. Lane. At 21. Before we conduct, all in favor? Sorry. Before we conduct, does anyone need a quick break?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
John, the conference,
Am I with?
into the
Yes.
conference. You're not a morning person, I think.
No, but I know.
Why don't you just do it quick? I'm gonna take it.
It's better,
You
sorry.
want just to put that in?
I know, I'm looking at mornings, but that's
I'll
so
take-
early
I'll take the evening shift.
for a hotel room.
Yeah,
I'll take the evening shift.
yeah.
The
Really
socializing
good
shift.
Really good.
4, 5, 6, 5:30 is where I cut it.
Social ambitions
Discuss it. Okay. Good.
Where does your daughter live? Oh, my.
So just understand how much further I am traveling
Uh,
to attend that 7:30 a.m. session
Appreciate what you.
and put my hand up.
Camels, you know, wine at
I'll
a
avoid-
socializing
Oh,
event.
so then why don't